Now the Khilji dynasty. Jalaluddin Firoz Khilji, 1290 to 1296 AD. The Khilji clan was from the Afghan village of Khalj, Khalj, was of most probably Turkish origin but had become Afghan in character. Khilji and Turkish slaves were partners in many successful campaigns in India. Under Muhammad Ghori, Bengal was won by Bakhtiyar Khilji, who ruled there. They were in many high-level posts in the Ghor army, GHOR army, and successive armies in India. Jalaluddin Khalji was the merciful old man who paid the price of loving his kith and kin too much. During his times, Mongols attacked under Halaku and Ulugh Khan. The latter accepted Islam, and the happy Sultan gave his daughter to this convert Mongol. Now Alauddin Khilji 1296 to 1316. Alauddin Khilji Aka Ali Gurshap killed his uncle at Kara near Allahabad, marched from Kara to Delhi, entered with his uncle's head on a spear and proclaimed himself the Sultan of Delhi and ruled for next 20 years. Eliminated the sons of his uncle, also eliminated those who helped him to kill his uncle. Thus he taught a lesson to all traitors. Prior to him, no Muslim invader had been able to cross the Vindhyas, Satpuras and Narmada river and conquer the Deccan Plateau. The way to Deccan was made open by his people and was never closed for him as well as future generations of the Mohammedan rulers. Throughout his life, he struggled with the swarms of Mongols, first under Duwa Khan, DUWA, second under Saldi, SALDI. SALDI was given a major defeat and 2,000 Mongols were made prisoner and were paraded before the Sultan. This was the worst defeat the Mongols faced in India. The third attack was under Kutlug Khwaja, KUTLUGH Khwaja, KHWAJ. Fourth attack was under Targhi, TARGHI. Fifth and further attacks were from Tartak, TARTAQ, Quebec, KEBAK, Iqbal Mand Khan, IQBALMAND, Iqbal Mand Khan. But Sultan deterred the Mongols every time. But he built Siri, his capital, SIRI, mainly to deter the Mongols. One important result of these repeated invasions of Mongols in Delhi was that hordes of these nomadic people established themselves near Delhi and accepted Islam. They were called New Muslims, lived in poverty and misery. Alauddin discovered a conspiracy among them and ordered that all the new Muslims must be eliminated in one day. The order was followed and around 40,000 Mongols were killed inhumanly, leaving the women and child who were made prisoners and thrown into slavery. Sultan also sent his powerful army to Kandahar, Ghazni and Kabul to teach a lesson to Mongols. These campaigns crippled the Mongols and they could not gather courage to invade India again till next invasion took place only under Timur during the Tughlaq dynasty. Alauddin was absolutely illiterate, not even able to read his name. The military successes took him to a fool's paradise and he thought that he is another Hazrat Muhammad, HAZARAT Hazrat Muhammad, so he should establish a new religion. Then he also dreamt of becoming second Alexander to subdue the earth. Ordered the Muslims to take his name in the namaz and ordered to engrave his names as second Alexander in his coins. However, there were some wise people around him who advised him to leave the job of establishing new religions to the prophets and rather than subduing the whole of earth, subdue the parts of India which were under the infidel Hindus such as Rajputs of Rajasthan and rulers of Malwa, Dhar, Ujjain, etc. Thus he was shown the right path by the wise people around him. Once shown the right path, he find out that Ranthambore was enough to make him lose all his energy. His army besieged the fort of Ranthambore in 1299 to teach a lesson to Raja Hamir, HAMMIR, who dared to give shelter to one of the rebels of the Sultan named Muhammad Shah. The fort was besieged by the Sultan army in 1299 and returned in 1301 exhausted. Only a conspiracy could help him to capture the fort of Ranthambore, that too with the help of a Rajput traitor Ranamal, Ranmal. Hamir Dev as well as Muhammad Shah was killed and Ranthambore was given to Ulugh Khan. Sultan returned to Delhi. Then one foolish Pariah told Alauddin, Pariah. Pariah means a member of an indigenous people of southern India, originally functioning as ceremonial drummers but later having a low caste. An outcast person, an untouchable or an undesirable person. Then one foolish Pariah told Alauddin Khilji about the beauty of Rani Padmini, the wife of Rawal Ratan Singh. Rawal, Ratan Ratan Singh. In 1303, the marauding army of Alauddin Khilji. Marauding means going about in search of things to steal or people to attack. In 1303, the marauding army of Alauddin Khilji, who had coveted Padmini, besieged Chittor. The siege was followed by Zohar, wherein Rani Padmini led the ladies of the fort into death by self-immolation, to find security from dishonor in the devouring element, as says James Todd. The next morning, the menfolk of Chittor rode out to face certain death on the field of honor. Meanwhile, daughter of Raja Karnadev, the ruler of Gujarat, was taken to Delhi and was married to Khijra Khan, son of Alauddin Khilji. Khijra Khan was made governor of Chittor and its name was changed to Khijrabad. To subdue Deccan, Sultan sent an army under Malik Kafur, a handsome castrato, male castrated before puberty, from Gujarat, who was Hindu by birth and converted to Islam, fascinated the Sultan and allegedly had homosexual relations with him. Alauddin had so much faith on Malik Kafur that he became the most important person after Sultan in due course of time. The Raja of Devagiri was captured and taken as prisoners. Malik brought the Raja and his son to Delhi. The Sultan treated them with all honor, gave him a royal canopy and a title of Rai Rayan, Raiyan, King of Kings, and returned him to Devagiri to rule as a vassal of the Delhi Sultanate. In the following years, he proceeded to Warangal and was able to get the infamous Kohinoor diamond from the king Pratap Rudradev of the Kakatiya dynasty. From the king Prataprudrev of the Kakatiya dynasty. The next campaign was against Veer Balala III, the great Hoysala, who was able to repulse the army of Delhi Sultanate, but Kafur returned with a great booty. That is, in the campaign against Veer Balala III, the great Hoysala king, he was able to repulse the army of the Delhi Sultanate, but Kafur looted a lot and returned with a great booty. Now the reforms of Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin introduced the reforms in the army and started the system of branding the horses, Dag, D-A-G-H, and biometric information about the soldiers, Chehra. He introduced regular muster for army. He organized and introduced a countrywide spy system. He was the first Sultan to set up a permanent standing army of the Sultanate. Alauddin Khilji abolished the system of small iqtas with a stroke of pen and brought them under the central government. At the same time, Alauddin made some harshest hike in tax part. Half of the produce was to be liable to be paid to the government, which was disastrous to the peasants. This scale of agrarian tax at 50% was the highest under Khilji among all other sultans. Not only that, Khilji made the Khuts, Khuts, and Muqaddams, Muqaddams to pay arrears into the new area department called Diwani Mustakharaj. The Mustakharaj reduced these peoples to beggars literally. As soon as Alauddin Khilji died, the system lost into oblivion. He confiscated the lands granted to nobles and checked free grants of land. He forbade them to marry among each other's families and held celebrations. He is known to have established separate market for food grains, cloths, etc. He also created new posts of Diwani Riyasat and Shahana-e Mandi to control the markets. Now, succession of Alauddin. Alauddin died in 1316. None of his successors were able to fit in his shoes. Malik Kafur enthroned the 6-year-old child prince Shihabuddin as Sultan of Delhi and became his protector. Malik Kafur sent 2 of Sultan's elder sons to the next world mercilessly. This reprobate was plotting a mass murder of the nobles when one night he himself was killed by the soldiers in his bedroom. Another son of Alauddin, Mubarak Shah, became the acting regent over his younger brother. Soon he blinded that child and sent him to jail. What happened to the ill-fated child, nobody knows. As soon as he became Sultan, to gather cheap publicity, he released 17,000 of prisoners and abolished all the taxes and penalties his father had imposed. The Mubarak, the young chap of 17 years, was a slave of his own desires and orgies. He paid the army 6 months advance salary and distributed the grants indiscriminately. The result was that wine started flowing in Delhi, which was banned by his father. The markets went wrong, the commodities became costly. All the market reforms introduced by his father tottered like a building, and there was a general corruption in Delhi. Like his father, Mubarak also had a beautiful Hindu pariah from Gujarat, whom he had styled Khusro Khan. He openly started calling the dancing girls and prostitutes, took him to the height of indecency and debauchery. Mubarak had flayed alive late Raja of Devagiri. The haunting shades of past gave him the fate he deserved. One night his favourite Khusro Khan murdered him. Khusro Khan mounted the throne as Sultan Nasiruddin. He ordered mass killing in the harem of the Sultan and everybody alive was killed. Khusro, a Hindu convert, took the revenge of his forceful convert by eliminating the whole of Khalji dynasty, and this was the end of another dynasty of the Delhi Sultanate in 1320 AD. Now the Khilji dynasty. Jalaluddin Firoz Khilji, 1290 to 1290.